Over the long holiday weekend, I took the opportunity to do a little thrifting. I went to thrift stores and consignment stores and vintage antique stores, whatever, because you never know what you're going to find. And some of the stuff I really enjoy is starting to be considered antique. And that's true of this thing I'd never seen before. This is from Jakks Pacific. This is an Activision plug and play. Came out in 2004, so it's now 20 years old. And hadn't seen one before, grabbed my attention, wasn't very expensive, so decided to pick it up. We're gonna check it out right after this.
This video brought to you in part by Embraceware. Learn more about the ultimate game guide just ahead.
Hey there, welcome back to GenXGrownUp. I'm John, and I am a GenXGrownUp. Thank you for taking the time to click on this video. So yeah, there I was in the antique store, lo and behold, sitting next to a bunch of other video gamey things, other plug and plays, a couple of old Atari flashbacks, was this thing. And I'd never seen it in the wild before. I vaguely knew it existed maybe, but it wasn't really on my radar. Activision branding got my attention. The Pong coloration confused me. So on my phone, I did a quick check. It was initially released in 2001 by Toymax, making that, I guess the internal software makes that 23 years old. And then Jakks Pacific either acquired or did a deal with Toymax, and they put out this joystick version in 2004. It's Activision games. Kinda. Sorta. It does work. We're gonna take a look at it, clean it up, and try it out. Let's head to the table. Here is exactly what I got then. No box, no manual, no nothing. Just a free-range Activision joystick is what I spotted on the shelf and went, what? What is this? And it's in decent shape. You can see it's a little dusty and you can see some little scuff marks on here. We're gonna see what we can do to clean that up. First, let's take a little tour of the hardware and what you've got. Down here on the front of the stick base, you have all the operational buttons. You've got a reset button, you've got a power LED on-off switch, and then just a game select and game start. Now these are 2600 games. What isn't here? Well, there's no color black and white switch. As we go around the rest of the device, you'll see no difficulty switches either. And so the games that we're gonna play have been, modified, we'll say, to not need those, but some might say stripped of some of their functionality. The whole of the unit forms the joystick, of course, so the base where all the internals are. Oddly, rainbow stripe here, more like Pong than Activision, these colors, all right. Unlike a TAC-2, it does have two buttons, but they're not down on the base here. They're one up here and one on top of the ball, which they both do the same thing, so there's no surprises there. The shaft of the stick is hexagon, and it has this little little washer on it that kind of does more for character and color than anything else, I think. And then there's the buttons, both the one on the stick and the one down here on the base. They're almost flush mount. Like if you look at this, there's almost no throw. When you push the button, you've got to push down into the body of the device. It's like, I wish it were raised a little more, but it's functional. I mean, you can certainly, the button works. And all of that is tethered to this AV cable that just has video and mono audio out that you connect up to your old style TV. Now I have tested this, it does work, so no surprise there. Let's clean this up a little bit though, put the batteries in it, and try it out. All right, that's about as clean as I think we're going to get it with a once over. I mean, it looks fine. You know, it did diminish some of those blemishes on this little metal base here, but that's cool. Let's check out the battery box. I think you can just make out here on the bottom, 2004 Jakks Pacific. Now, you'll see a copyright in the software that says 2001. This was originally made by Toymax in the shape of like a gamepad, almost like a Batwing kind of gamepad. But Jakks Pacific bought them out and re-released this as this joystick you're seeing in 2004. Now, as I mentioned, I did test this already, so we know that it works. So no surprise if the battery box looks good, but it actually looks better than good. Looks like it was kept nice and clean and no one left horrible batteries in there to get it all corroded and not working. So let's go ahead and throw the batteries in, button it up, fire it up, and give it a try.
The Ultimate Game Guide app for NES has been updated to include Super NES. The app is now free to try with a sampling of content and a purchase option to unlock the full library for each system. Manage both your NES and your Super NES collections in a single app. The entire libraries of both systems are covered with reviews, screenshots, cart images, box art, and information such as genre, publisher, release date, estimated price, and more. Also features tips, codes, passwords, Game Genie codes, and magazine print ads. Sync your collection with a free cloud account and view the estimated value. Available now at embraceware.com/GenX.
And when you power it up, you can see Toymax 2001 copyright on here, Activision copyrights are on here. Then it starts a very stark menu screen, frankly. For an Activision licensed title, you'd think it'd be a little more, I don't know, wow, something to it. They run through, developed by Digital Creations. That's DC Studios, which you'll see they have a URL here. Yeah, that's for sale. If you want that, it's for sale. You can go get that. They're not around. Not DC Comics, DC Studios. There's the original copyright. So the 10 games that are included. Okay, so Crackpots, Pitfall you gotta have on here. Grand Prix, interesting. River Raid, a favorite. Tennis, okay. Spider Fighter, ice hockey. Some of these inclusions, like tennis, ice hockey, boxing, maybe even Freeway, are best when played multiplayer. And not only can you only have one joystick. The ROMs, they are ROMs, or rewritten ROMs on here have been rewritten to ignore the existence of a second player that ever existed in these games. And going back to my an earlier video where I talked about acquisition of Activision and Magic, all the way back in 2001, Activision already was putting Atlantis out there. So yeah, Activision has the rights to put out these games. So what a triple whammy it would be to get all that stuff for Atari, Activision, and Magic, and all the... Anyway, so let's take a look. I mean, once you get in the menu, you just navigate with the stick. There's no sound. I have it turned way up. In fact, make sure it's turned plenty up so you can hear. And let's start... Let's start with Crackpots, because you might not notice, unless you really know Crackpots well, you might not notice the difference. Now I looked, this is a NOC, NES on a chip. So these are not the original ROMs. It's not even running 2600 hardware or even emulating it. It's a rewrite for Nintendo. So, I mean, we've seen this before. We saw that with the Intellivision little plug and play. I do like that. Since I didn't get the manual's baked in-ish. It tells you, here's the concept, what you're trying to do, here are the controls, and press fire. So you're in the game. Now, game select and game start are down here. So I can select games 1 or 2. That's not 1 or 2 players. If you look in the manuals, I went to check. I think this Crackpots had 4 variations, and 2 of them were single player and 2 were double player. And so they've just purged the existence of those anywhere. The gameplay is okay. What you'll notice, sounds are weird. Also, copyright 2001. Look at that Activision logo with the muted, whatever that is. That's not their rainbow. Anyway, so let's start it and give it a try. I mean, it is Crackpots, but it's pretty easy to see. Yeah, they kept the sprites and replicated the gameplay as close as possible, but this is like a sampler of what, this is like a port. It's not like it is a port of Spider Fighter for the 2600 to the Nintendo Entertainment System. That's what it is. To get out of a game, you just hit the reset button, goes back to that title screen, and back to the blah menu. Yeah, now Atlantis, you'll really hear, we're starting to get into games that I'm sure you know well. Atlantis, again, here's instructions, brief overview. Let's give it a shot. 2001 Magic, it says right there, not Activision, but even though it's an Activision unit, we know the deal. Only 4 games types, so no 2-player available, so let's jump right into one. And listen, the gameplay's here. What is that? I guess I kind of appreciate the restraint. It'd be tempting when you're writing an NES port of these games to enhance them somehow and make them do more than they should. Fortunately, we didn't do that. I want to lose the game just so we can see the... let's see if the ship flies off at the end. That's what I'd like to know. A couple of power cells. There's one. One more. There it is. It did. Okay. Nice. It makes sense that Pitfall would be on here. However, of all these titles, Pitfall may be the one that is most susceptible to that's not right syndrome. So check this out. Yeah, you'd find all the treasures, all that. Did you see that wipe down? Did you see that? Let me do it again. What I want you to watch for is
how the screen has to like paint in place top to bottom, and it causes glitches in the game, in fact. Watch this. See that? How the trees came down? All right. Ah! Oh, you can see it between screens. Look at the paint. Ah, weird. Ow! Wait, look at that thing. Ah! Oh, the sound. Look at the vine. What's going on with that vine? There's some crocodiles. Stand on his head. I mean, the mechanics are here. The scorpion is following all the things you'd expect, but what the heck? It just came out of nowhere. I also noticed when you swing with the vine, your butt hits the barrels if there's barrels under you. I'll show you. Oh, muted. Not the Atari sound chip there. Oh, hit a snake. The hit detection is crazy. Jump later? Nope. I have played some Pitfall, and I know where the hitbox is on that Cobra, and that's not where it is. See if I can make it over this Cobra. Ugh. So I feel like it's a little in front. There we go. So you got to jump later than you're expecting. Oh, get on there. Look how low he swings. Watch how he hits the log down there. Yeah. It's nitpicky stuff, but it's... as I was reading, this was maybe one of the first licensed plug-and-plays back in 2001. There had been a few around that time. There was a bootleg Atari one, I know. Yeah, it's just, the more popular a title like this is, the more likely you are to notice all the little nuanced differences between one and the other. That Grand Prix on there, very early Activision game, and here you steer your car, brake, accelerate. Yeah, it's all on there, so, okay. And you can pick from your race type with your game select, but no two-player option. Was there a two-player option on this? I don't remember. Left for brake. Yeah, I mean, other than the sound chip differences, I mean, they've replicated the sprites, even if not the actual game. Okay. River Raid is another one. The more familiar you are with River Raid, the more you'll notice how just off little things in the game are. I mean, it's a decent attempt at reproducing River Raid, but start. Here we go. Ah! And the fuel sounds good, but the plane, just that white noise of the plane. Or deep, no, I guess it's not white noise. Just that constant background hum just feels off. You know River Raid. Although I can see how in 2001, 2004, people that hadn't played these games in a while, you would swear they were legit 100%. Of course, now we have the benefit of living 20 years later, knowing exactly what accurate emulation looks like and sounds like, and it's not this. We're halfway through tennis. Great, of course. Never wait for a chord again. I like having the instructions. And you can pick from game 1, game 2, but no two-player games. It's all AI, of course. So not only did they take the options out of the game, like there's no reference to it, you can't like skip through what used to be two-player games, they're just gone. They've been omitted entirely. And I always like this version of tennis, honestly. Again, way better with a second human player, but definitely, yeah, nice. A quick look at Spider Fighter. Now, a game most people probably don't know. You might not recognize the differences in the audio and the gameplay here, but yeah. There's literally no game select, because all Spider Fighter had was player 1, player 2. Additionally, no difficulty switches. So I think on Spider Fighter you could change from guided bullets to not guided bullets, but you don't have a choice here. So if you love the guided bullets, there's no way to get to it. I mean, there's no button for it. It's been taken out of the game. So, but it plays well. It could be blasphemous, but I might like it better than Demon Attack. I just think there's more variety to it. Got him. A little bonus. All right, Spider Fighter. Ice Hockey, good Activision game. Great Activision game if you have 2 players, but you don't, of course, in this version. I can pick from 2 different kinds of games, but none of them are a 2-player, of course. So, start. So, I'm the little red guys. Oh, he scored on me because I'm terrible. Maybe I like playing 2-player because I was no good against the computer. That could very well be it at my 3-0 run that I'm on right now. Oh, he's got it. Come on. Oh, he's in again. Oh, well. Just a couple more. Boxing. Again,
Good game, okay game, way better if you have 2 players to play with. Game select doesn't do anything. What's happening up here, I couldn't tell you. What are those? That didn't exist. Like when I push game select, that's changing. I don't know what that is, but so you can box the AI boxer if you want to. You're the boxer on the left, the white boxer, the black one on the right. It's the AI, and that's all you get. I mean, it is kind of Activision boxing, but depending on how big of a fan you were, how well you know the original, that's going to impact how your enjoyment level of this thing. And the last one, Freeway, maybe the one they've taken the most license with. So check this out. Yeah, up, down, move your chicken. Now, things you don't have difficulty switches or 2-player mode. So look what they did. Hit start. They put the chicken in the middle of the road. I don't mean the middle of the road. I mean the center of the screen here. Typically, you have a chicken here and a chicken here. To play 2-player, the other person just starts moving. But here, since it's never going to be more than 1 player, you can change between the highway, time of day, I think 7 or 8 of those, yeah. But the difficulty switch was if you get hit by a card, you get sent all the way back or just back a couple of lanes. And since it's on the B mode all the time, watch, he just gets sent back a couple of lanes every time. And there's a little, see this little oddity in his sprite? See a little black dot there that's kind of, it's there on some lines and not on others, but you'll see when he enters, you can see it sometimes when he's up here. And it's like a little, just anomaly. Anyway, but the game plays like the game plays. The button doesn't do anything, of course. It's still Freeway, but exclusively 1-player Freeway without all the options. Yeah, much like that Intellivision 25-in-1 plug-and-play we looked at not long ago. This is nice to reminisce and see what the state of emulation and consumer electronics for these classic games was like 20 years ago, but it's not the device you're going to reach for when you want to really remember what it was like to play these games, because it's not even emulation. They're ports of the games. And as I mentioned, if you didn't remember them well, you might play these and go, that's great, and just get a taste, but the more familiar you are with the games, the less you're going to reach for this. Only go seek it out if you're just a collector and want to see this for yourself and try it. It's a novelty at best, not bad pickup and something to add to the collection. Look, I'll put a link to that Intellivision plug and play here and some other plug and plays I've looked at recently. I certainly hope you found something to enjoy in this video, and I can't wait to talk to you again next time. Bye-bye.